What's good, gun family? Urban Gun Reviews, and today on the channel I'm gonna be reviewing the Crimson Trace CT1500 red dot optic. Let's check it out. You can get this red dot on crimsontrace.com, and the ticket on it, 180 bucks. Oh Lord! So let's start off by me telling you where I got this red dot optic from. I did not pay for this. It came with my Springfield Armory Echelon 4.0C. It came in the gear up package that I ended up getting. So I did not pay for this optic. Like I said, if you want to buy one, they're on the Crimson Trace website for 180 bucks. You might be able to find them on other websites for a little cheaper. But it's a 3 MOA red dot optic, and I put this on my Sig Sauer P365 XL. Now I did have to make modifications for it to fit on here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little lip that was on here on the back of the optic. It was like this little, almost half a circle type of lip that was on there, and I just used a Dremel and sawed it off because, you know, I didn't pay for it, so I really didn't care what it looks like or anything like that. So I slapped this on there, and this is a micro red dot, so it will fit the P365 XL. It would have fit my my Glock 43 X MOS. All of those pistols that fit micro red dots, it would have fit on there. The footprint is a J-point and a RMSC footprint. So like I said, it will fit those micro red dots and whatever fits a J dot, whatever has a J dot footprint. They claim that the battery life will give you 20,000 hours of battery life, and they equivalent that to 2 years of battery life. Now the battery doesn't load from the side and it doesn't load from the top. So if you want to replace the battery, or you need to replace the battery, you have to take your optic off your firearm and replace it from the bottom of your optic. So when you have to do that, then you're gonna have to sight in your optic to make sure that everything is back the way that it is, or back the way that it was, and sight it in properly, because removing your optic from your firearm can throw your optic off, because your optic obviously is not going to be in the exact same position, or, you know, whatever, when you place it back onto your firearm. This optic is made from polymer material, and it does have a notch in the back to let your optic co-witness with your iron sights. What else came with the optic? I got some extra screws, I got an instruction manual, I got a cleaning cloth, and I got a hood that goes over the top of your optic to keep your optic safe, so it won't get broken if it's you know, put up somewhere. Now the 1500 has a open reflex glass for the optic, so it's not a covered hood, so there can get dirt, dust, all that stuff can get on your optic or on the inside, or block the light that's down in there. It can happen, so you might want to clean that frequently if you get the chance to, because it can throw off your optic. You also have a notch on the top to change the elevation, and then you have one on the side to change your windage, or vice versa, but it's one of those ways. But it did come with a tool too. I didn't mention that, but it came with a tool also to be able to change the elevation and the windage on your optic. But one more thing before I get into how this optic ran when I shot with it, is that it is a direct mount to your firearm. So it direct mounts to your slide. There's no need for optics plate. There's no optics plate on here. And with my Sig P365 XL, I had to remove the rear sight. So you do lose your rear iron sight. As you see, my rear iron sight isn't on there. Still got the front sight, but you lose the rear, and I guess you could just co-witness this little notch right here with the front of your iron sight. So this is kind of playing the new role as your rear sight, you know, because you don't have the room on here to actually fit the rear sight and the optic at the same time. So if you don't want to lose your rear sight, or you're not a fan of, you know, removing your rear sight, then putting it on your P365 XL wouldn't be a great option for you. Now, if you're a Glock guy and you wanted to put it on your 43X, this is a hollow center on here, but the 43X, you would be able to fit your optic on here with your rear sight and not actually have to lose your rear sight. So that's your personal choice if you don't mind losing your rear sight, which I didn't really care for it. So I didn't mind losing my rear sight to add the red dot onto my pistol. What up, gun family? So we at the range now. We got the Crimson Trace 1500. I believe that's what it is, and it's a 5 MOA dot. Got it on the 6 hour P365 XL. So we're gonna test it out. I'm gonna set up some bowling pins, see how accurate this dot is and how good it is in this light that we got right now. Fairly bright outside, 78, 80 degree day or something out here. So we're gonna see how accurate it is. And when I say accurate, I just mean, is it way off? You know, does it maintain this dot? Not really just accuracy, because a lot of it could be shooter error. It could be me that just don't know how to aim with a red dot. So, you know, take what I say as just my opinion, or just me as the operator. But you as an operator might have a totally different experience if you're on a different level that I'm on. So, you know, just take what I say with a grain of salt, and then, you know, make your own opinion off if you want to get it or if it's worth your bread or not.
That one got shook.
Yeah. All right, so that first meg, as far as accuracy, I don't think the accuracy is bad. It's pretty on point, but when you shoot it, that dot's gone. Like, it just like disappears, right, left, up, down, wherever, and you gotta find it again. So that's why you shouldn't depend on the dot. You should depend on the dot on your firearm more than the dot on your optic, because that dot, I'm telling you, it was gone to where you really had to wait 1 second, 2 seconds to find the dot again. Like, you had to find it because it was so just off after you did that initial shot. So but accuracy, when you lined it up on the target, it was hitting the target. So I can say that it is accurate. I'm gonna shoot it probably 2 more times on the targets, you know what I mean, just to check them out. But I like it, you know, it's pretty decent. Yeah. All right, so you got your airs on? Yeah. All right. So round 2, Crimson Trace CT 1500. I'm trying to shoot it again. I added an extra target in the middle, so it's a little metal target. These flies is just crazy today. Like, for real, I wish I could shoot the motherfucking fly. I'm about to get one of them bug soldiers. Damn, I shot that shit all the way up there.
Go to the right. To the right.
I don't know what it is with that one. Like, I can't fucking hit that one.
You're low.
Whew. I was trash. Again, I felt like I kept trying to pick up that dot. But even when I felt like I took my time to try to hit it, it just felt like it was all over the place. Like I felt like it felt like I seen dust up here. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't think my shot went that high. Maybe it just hit the dirt behind it or something, but that was kind of crazy. But yeah, I'll probably do one more mag and you know, we'll take it back to the tabletop after that. So let me give you guys my final thoughts on the Crimson Trace CT1500 red dot optic, and it's definitely a budget option. One thing that I always thought was, why did Springfield send this out with the gear up package, but when they were sending this firearm to content creators, they were sending it out with a different optic? Things that make you go right? All right, but if you watched the whole video, you seen when I hit the range with this thing, my comments on it, and I stand true by those comments. It is a budget option, so you're not going to get the best features. One thing I don't like is the battery loading from the bottom, because then that requires you to have to remove your optic to replace the battery. I didn't like that little notch that was on the back that I had to saw off. It is what it is. I probably wouldn't have had to do it if I put it on a different firearm, but it's no big deal. It's an open reflex sight, so you can get glass, dirt, scratches, all of that stuff in there. You can get your emitter blocked if you get lint in there and things like that. But regardless of all that, the biggest issue that I had with this red dot was it staying locked in. Like when I was shooting this thing, it jumped out the screen, you know, and to the point where you had to wait a second, 2 seconds for the red dot to come back for you to be able to, you know, get another shot. So you lost the red dot. And I understand that when you shoot with a red dot, you're not supposed to depend on the red dot. The red dot is there, whatever. You're supposed to depend on your irons and whatnot. I understand all of that. But I'm saying from a shooter standpoint that when you shoot with it, you lose the dot. The dot is gone. So if you're one of them people who have to find the dot, you're dependent on the dot, you will not be able to do it quickly. It's not something you're just going to be able to pow, 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 and the dot's going to stay there. Once you shoot that first round, your dot is gone, and you're going to have to wait for whatever it is to happen for your dot to come back on screen, back in sight, for you to be able to follow up and get follow-up shots using your red dot. So that's why it's important to train with your irons and not get too attached to those red dots, because if you get one like this and you go to shoot it and you never practice with it, and you know you're out and shooting and whatever, trying to defend your life, and you're depending on that optic might disappear on you. So you need to practice with the irons and get used to shooting this, and then your optic losing the red dot. Sighting it in wasn't hard. I sighted it in from my house. I used one of them little sighting cartridges. I used one of those. I sighted it in from about 15-20 feet. So it wasn't hard to do. So when I took it to the range, it was fairly accurate. I probably could adjust it more, but I didn't have paper to try to adjust it, and get it more precise with what I wanted it to. So all in all, my thoughts on the Crimson Trace CT1500 optic is decent. Okay, would I recommend it? If you need a budget optic for your J point or your micro red dot, your micro pistols, your RMSC pistols, footprint pistols, I can see you rocking with this. Is there better options out there? Probably, but for under $200, you're getting an optic that I put about 200 rounds. Was it about 200 rounds? I can't remember the exact round. I'm gonna say at least 100 rounds through this firearm with the optic on it, and like I mentioned, you will lose that dot. It's inevitable. You will lose that dot, and it's hard to pick back up. So that's probably the worst thing about it, besides the bottom loading battery. You know, when you get that open reflex, you know you're gonna get dirt, dust, debris, all type of stuff in there. You know that's gonna happen. So I can't fault the red dot for that, because you should know what you're getting into when you buy things like that. But like I said, I would market it as a budget red dot, and anybody who's in the market for a budget red dot, you should probably check one out. But be cautious of the things that I mentioned, and you know, check out some other options as well. But it's Urban Gun Reviews. If you like this video, or you felt like you learned something from this video, let me know by clicking the thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you can do that by clicking on my logo in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. If you're not following me on all my social media sites, make sure you go into the description and click all those links. And let's take it back one more time. After you subscribe to the channel, make sure that you hit the bell notification so you can be notified anytime I upload any new content to my YouTube channel. And we out to the next time, gun family. Stay blessed. Stay strapped.